Great. Thank you. Reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, verse 40, contents of the Gita summarized. Vikamana shasti pratyavayana vidyate sapamapyasya dharmasya chayate mato ayat. Translation. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Purport. Activity in Krishna consciousness or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification is the highest transcendental quality of work. Even a small beginning of such activity finds no impediment, nor can that small beginning be lost at any stage. Any work begun on the material plane has to be completed, otherwise the whole attempt becomes a failure. But any work begun in Krishna consciousness has a permanent effect, even though not finished. Okay, so we're talking about if you do devotional service, whatever you do, it is not lost. And you have your spiritual bank account, and did you know you have a spiritual bank account? So today you're making a deposit, a couple of them, actually three. One is the class, that's a deposit, and the kirtan is also a deposit, and eating prasadam is also a deposit in your spiritual bank account. One time I was telling my son Govinda, it would be nice if you put something in your spiritual bank account. You know, they get big and then they kind of go and do what they like to do so much. And he said, Mom, don't worry. I have a joint account with you. So, yeah, I mean, it's true that if whatever you do, your family gets a benefit too. Because it's not a material thing, it's a spiritual thing. And your family, all of your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids, and your mother and father and grandparents and great-grandparents, they all get the benefit. Isn't that nice? So whatever you're putting in your spiritual bank account today, they will also share. They're starting theirs too, even though they don't know it. So isn't that nice? So we come here because we're attracted to something about Krishna. There's something about here, why people come here. So first of all, I'd like to ask some questions of you. Personally, do you come here for the chanting? Do you like to chant? Show your hand how many like to chant. Yes, we have some very enthusiastic ones over here. Oh, that's good. We find a few. How many come here because you have read the books or you like the books also? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And also, we have the pictures. We have beautiful pictures here. And somebody come to see the pictures. Yeah, okay. We got everybody here in the front. And the deities, you come to see the deities here. Yeah, nice, okay. How many come here just to eat prasadam? I think that's unanimous, huh? Okay, yeah, well, you'll get a chance, in case you haven't done it before, and you'll get purified by eating. Yes. Also, when Srila Prabhupada was here, my spiritual master, just by his language, come. There's one example. I think I told it. I don't think I told it here, but some of you might know it. That there was one boxer coming to the temple in Germany, and he was he was coming Sundayfeast, but then Prabhupada came. So he came when Prabhupada came, my spiritual master. And, devotees were telling him, why don't you stay here? He said, no, my boxing, I'm too attached to my boxing. So then when Prabhupada came, Prabhupada was leaving, and there's usually a big crowd when Prabhupada leaves, and he was pushed to Prabhupada's car, and his face was planted against the window. And Prabhupada was looking at him for a long time. And then he came back and he said, okay, I stay. No, I stay. So what about your boxing? What happened to your boxing? No, after a glance like that, I can't go back to my boxing. But just by a glance, Prabhupada could make someone a devotee. Yes, then Krishna smiled too, of course. So, but there are some obstacles for us to really come here and enjoy the atmosphere. Sometimes people say, no, I'm a very aristocratic person. So, yeah, I don't really need to come here. Or somebody might be very rich. Say, no, I have everything I need. I have money. I don't need to go to Krishna. Somebody might be very intelligent. No, I'm a PhD. I don't do these things. Or somebody may be very beautiful. They say, no, I get what I want with my beauty. And so as far as the philosophers and the smart people of this world, actually Prabhupada had one student, one disciple, and he was going to university. And so Prabhupada asked, so what are you studying? And the disciple said, sociology. You know how people, they're drinking and they're doing drugs and they're a problem for society. So Prabhupada said, yes, they will discuss that in the class. And after they finish discussing, the professor will say, okay, let's have a drink. They don't follow what they teach. This is the problem in the schools today. And so fortunately, we have our temple president who goes to the schools and teaches them how to be a nice devotee and eat prasadam and chant Hare Krishna. And so that's really good. But we do have a couple of rich people who are serving Krishna. Ambarish is one of them. He's the great-grandson of Henry Ford, who had just started this automobiles business, and he's using his millions to build the Mayapur temple. And he also bought many other, Detroit temple, he gave half of it, and also other temples too, Hawaii temple. And so how can somebody who has money, who has beauty, who has riches, who has the PhD, how can they come to Krishna consciousness? It's very hard for such people. Because just like a child, we had some children here, and they might have a toy car, or for the boys, or for the girls, maybe a dolly, a little baby doll. And so they enjoyed that when they're kids. But when they grow up, they want the real one. They want a real car. That goes for the girls too. And they want real everything. The girls also want whatever. And some girls want to have children too. So they want to have a real doll, a real baby. And so so when you get the real thing, you give up the lower thing. And so those who come here for a spiritual experience, they want the real happiness. They want eternal happiness, something that the soul doesn't get outside in the material world. You don't get it. There's no way. You get things, temporary things that make your body happy, but you don't get the thing, the food for the soul. You get food for the body, you get food for the mind, but you don't get food for the soul. Food for the soul will satisfy your mind and your body also. You jump and dance in kirtan and you eat prasadam, spiritual food. And so, yes, there was one of our devotees who sold a book to one man, And he was talking about you can get spiritual happiness. And the man said to the devotee, happiest day of my life was when I bought my boat. So this was in Ireland, and it's full of rivers and lakes, loch, they call them lochs. And so a lot of people have boats, because our temple is on an island, so we hear the boats going around sometimes. Yeah, we don't hear the cars, because there's no cars on the island. It's really a nice place. So, yeah, Govinda Dweep, or Krishna Island. And so the man said, but then, the happiest day of my life was when I sold my boat. Because it gave me so much trouble, I had to maintain it, I had to fix it. So, yeah, you get something in this world and it comes along with conditions apply. Yes, many conditions apply. And so we become better, we try for spiritual happiness. But sometimes people come here and they try, and then they stay for some time, but then they go away. They go away. Why does that happen? Why do people leave? Because there are different reasons given by my godbrother, His Holiness Bhaktisiddhanta Swami. 4 reasons, actually, why people, they start the spiritual path, but then they give it up. Of course, here the verse we read is, even if you give it up, it doesn't matter. You don't lose anything. Nothing is lost. And so, yes, why do people go away from here after having a taste of spiritual? And I don't mean like you just come and go, come on Sunday. I don't mean you people. I mean people who are like serious. And they come and they stay for a few years. Why do they also leave and go away? So there's 4 reasons why. My godbrother gives 4 reasons. That first of all, the problem can be that we make offenses to other devotees, or even to ordinary people. That some devotees they can't control, even though they're practicing in a spiritual life. They still can't control their anger or something like that. I mean, of course, if you stay a long time, then it helps a lot. So yes, then you won't make offenses. So we try to avoid offending others. So that's one reason. If you go away, then that comes back to you as a taste to enjoy material things. If you do make offenses. Now, a second reason why other devotees leave is because of pride. Now, I'm the best devotee. No, nobody can compete with me. Nobody can compare. And out of pride, of course, you may offend others. And if you're proud, you can't learn anything. Because the first step in knowledge is humility. Humility means, well, he knows more than I do. So let me hear. Let me learn. But if you're too proud, you won't want to learn. You can't learn. No, I already know it all. Yeah, no. Sometimes in India, we try to give a Gita. No, I know Gita. No. But this is Gita as it is, so it's quite different. I just saw on the internet one man, he already had 1,000 Bhagavad Gitas, but he didn't have Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. So then he thought, then he read a little bit, he said, oh wow, they sold 23 million copies, I should get one too. And so then he actually bought one and he could see the big difference. So pride, if you think you already know it, if you do have 1,000 Gitas, you might know something, but you don't know the real thing as it is, because they change it when they write their own books with the name of Gita on it. Another reason why people may go away is lack of association, that you're alone somewhere, just trying to practice, and then you don't see devotees, you don't stay with them. So there is one example in the scripture of a king, emperor of the world. He gave up everything and he went to the forest, but he was alone. So he got into trouble because he saved one little deer and he became attached to the deer. And at the time of death, he was thinking of the little deer. What will he do without me? But then when he changed to his next body, he got the body of a dear. And so, yeah, this could be a problem. Just, or another one, he made an offense, and another, and became an elephant. Now, how can an elephant can't even come in the door, So what can he do? In India, they do have elephants in temples. I mean, in the yard. But lack of association and lack of knowledge could make you go away. So we have to educate ourselves in spiritual life. So our Guru Prabhupada, he says, sometimes people join our movement out of sentiment. They don't really understand why they're here or why they're chanting or anything. And they may go away. There's a verse here in this, where is it? Oh, it's on this page. If someone gives up his occupational duty and works in Krishna consciousness and falls down on account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part? And so, yeah, we have sometimes devotees, especially in Prabhupada's time, they would leave their job, leave their family, give up everything and become a devotee. It was kind of like an emergency situation. And so, and then they would go back again. There was one, my godbrother, he was in university to become a doctor. He had one exam left, and he left and joined Hare Krishna. But then later on, he went back and took that last exam, became a doctor, and he helped the devotees, like a $1 million operation he did for free for devotees. And so, yeah, you can live outside and also help serve Krishna. So yes, you might be a lawyer, businessman, engineer, politician, but if you do devotional service, nothing is lost. You will be protected by Krishna. And so Srila Prabhupada talked about us Westerners. Of course, here we have a lot of Westerners. We're born in Western countries and became like meat eater and so many things, which is not very good. But even though we were fallen, Prabhupada said, because in our last life we did some devotional service, that's why we could take it up in this life. So perhaps in our last life we left some of our material responsibilities to become a devotee, but it wasn't lost. In this life we became devotees. Prabhupada called and we came. So there's one example of my good brother, Vajahari, who is no longer with us. He was working nighttime in the steel factory. He said, I almost had a nervous breakdown. He told Prabhupada, my spiritual master. Prabhupada said, actually, because in your last life, you were all brahmanas, he said to us. He said, so otherwise, how could you come to Krishna consciousness so quickly? Then he said, actually, my Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, has ordered all of you to take birth to help me spread this mission, and now we're all together again. And so we were with Prabhupada somehow or other. So it may happen that we come and we leave, but it's not lost. It's not lost. But sometimes it's a little bit difficult, it's a bit austere, especially in the early days. Now it's much better. But we can see, I know, example, my godbrother Indra, how he came to Krishna consciousness. There was Harinam, Sankirtan, where we chant on the streets, and he heard the Harinam, and he started running, and he caught up with the Harinam, and he lost one shoe on the way. And the way he said, you can go back and get your shoe. And Indra said, I'm not going back for anything. That was it. That was it. The Harinam was it. He just heard it. And that's it. Something last life, I think. Looks like. So yeah, and there's sometimes devotees leave, but Krishna doesn't let them go away. I can tell you another story in Ireland. Somebody joined the temple, and he was thinking, I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning for Mangalaki. This is really too much. Too austere, I can't do it, no. And besides that, in the early days, we had no toilet paper. We did the Indian method of just water. So, and he said, there's no toilet paper here also. I have to go, this is too much. So he went out, he got a job, but his job was a night job. He was working the whole night. So one night at 1 o'clock in the morning, he said, actually, this is worse. It was before I could sleep in the temple. And then he punctured one box of paper, and hundreds of rolls of toilet paper fell on his hand. So Krishna was telling him, okay, here you can have as much as you want. You want toilet paper? Here, take it. He went back to the temple. He got Krishna's sense of humor to bring him back. He said, yes, no, I'm wasting time. What am I doing? Working in this toilet paper factory. So now he understood, no, this is very valuable and why I give it up. And so that happens. The ways go, they come back. It happens sometimes. I know one of my god sisters, she lived for some time, and she wasn't eating meat, but she was breaking some of the other ones. And then she did come back. When she was in coma, somehow the devotees were chanting and she could hear them chanting. So she didn't die. She came back. She actually became a GBC, but now she's not GBC and she left. She's old, very old. And so she left that position. And so yeah, it happens, nice devotee. She was there in the early days with Prabhupada. And so then she couldn't. Krishna wouldn't let her. And she said she did get in front of the Prabhupada deity. Prabhupada was talking to her. I don't know what he was saying, but anyway. So Lord Chaitanya, he planted a tree in this material world 500 years ago when he came. We have him here with us, Lord Chaitanya. And he became the trunk of the tree. And he gave an order to all the branches. So ISKCON is one branch of the tree. So Lord Chaitanya said, I'm the only gardener. He was also the gardener. How many places can I go? How many fruits can I pick and distribute? So I order everyone in this universe accept this Krishna consciousness movement and distribute it everywhere. So we have that order from Lord Chaitanya that we have to follow. He's trying to, actually there's a verse in Bhagavatam that he's chasing the conditioned souls in this world to give them Krishna consciousness. Yeah, there is one of, not my godbrother, I don't remember whose guru it is, one devotee in our movement who was a soldier in Iraq, soldier for the USA. His name was Partha Sarthi, so which is a good name for a soldier. And he was distributing books. There was one particular soldier who would just see him and run away. No, I don't need the book. But then he was dying. And then he asked, okay, here's the book, finally. Now that devotee was chasing him, just like Lord Chaitanya was chasing everyone. And so yes, so we have come here, we're very fortunate. These books are very, very powerful. There was one in India, 2022 year, that's in December. We have a marathon where we try to sell so many books all over the world. So we have it in India too. And but during that time in Tirupati, there was one man who died, and they were carrying him on a stretcher to the crematorium. And while they were carrying him, this man all of a sudden jumped off the thing and started running. And all the Indians were saying, Buddha, ghost, it's a ghost. He said, no, it's me, I'm back. They said, what happened? And he said, well, I was taken by the messengers of death, the Yamadutas. They took me to the Lord of Death, Yamraj. And Yamraj said, you got the wrong guy. Take him back. So, okay. So they took him back, the Yamadutas, messengers of death. who come to get people. Anyway, so they told this man, he said, so if you don't want to see us take you again, you go to ISKCON and get Bhagavad Gita as it is. So he was running to ISKCON to get Gita. He got it and he was crying, oh, I won't see the Yamadutas again. So yeah, you all should have one at least, and read it. And you won't see the messengers of death. You will be safe. So it's very, very powerful, these books. And we're trying just to, we got the mercy here and we're trying to give it to others to share what we got. So I'll stop here. If there's any comments or questions, you can ask at this point. Yes?
Just a comment.
Comment.
Yes, that I heard that in India, some people they avoid Vaishnavas because they are so afraid of Vaishnava apparat.
They avoid devotees because they're afraid of offending the devotees.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Okay.
But, and I've been in India 52 years, but
Some
could
Indian
be.
told me.
Oh, in India told you, oh, really? Well, it could be, because I did hear that in South India, I think in Tamil Nadu, they're afraid to worship Krishna. This is a different reason. Because if you worship Krishna, he might come and take everything from you. So they're afraid. And especially if he has a flute in his hands, you might hear it and forget everything and become a devotee. So that's in Malaysia also and South India also. I have heard that that's another reason why they don't, they're afraid to worship Krishna, you know. So afraid to offend devotees, that's good, that's good, that's better. But anyway, that means they have, devotees are very powerful, yes, it's true. So better don't argue with the devotee, or else we don't know what will happen. Okay, any other questions? Yes.
You have a personal experience with Prabhupada. Could you tell me about how Prabhupada was, because we haven't had that fortune to be with Prabhupada?
How was Prabhupada? Well, the first time I met him was in an airport in Florida. And he was, I was following behind him. And for the first time in my life, I felt like, oh, this is where I belong. In America, when I was 10, I was looking at my classmates, I said, I'm not one of them. I don't know where I'm from, maybe from another country, maybe from another planet. One thing I know is I'm not American, not from here. And when I saw Prabhupada, when I was following him, I said, yes, this is where I'm from. I'm from Prabhupada's movement, and I can do this the rest of my life. I can follow him. Yeah, I'll just tell one story. Did we do this already? Did I tell some story here before? I don't think I did in one class. And I told a few stories. I think so. Didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah, see? Now, how about a different story? Another one. Okay, I'll tell a story. I went to Vrindavan in 1972 to be with Prabhupada for Nectar of Devotion classes. So one time Prabhupada was sitting and we were in his room, and one monkey ran in and took bananas from his feet, they were at his feet, and ran out. And Prabhupada said, see how intelligent that monkey is. None of you would dare to do that. But don't be intelligent like a monkey. That's what he said. And then another thing happened. Personally, he noticed me and he said, my sister told me that you speak Bhagavatam very nicely. So I was very confused because I never spoke Bhagavatam, but to speak it nicely. So then I remembered it was Yamashtami, and our practice, our tradition was to read the whole Krishna book morning till night. So I was reading Krishna book, and I think she was my only audience, and she only knew Bengali. She didn't know English, but I was being very dramatic. Oh, Krishna left the gopis, And she started crying, and then she told Prabhupada she speaks Bhagavatam. And then what happened was, 30 years later, I started speaking Bhagavatam. So it actually came true, what Prabhupada said, what she said. Yeah, if a pure devotee says something, it must happen. So there was another thing speaking about. So I was teaching a Bhakti Vedanta course and Bhakti Vaibhav course. And Prabhupada also said another thing in the class. If you read a chapter of Bhagavatam every day for 1 year, after 1 year, you will become a great scholar. So I did it. I was not reading the whole chapter, just singing like prayers that I like, prayers from this chapter, prayers from that chapter, important verses for 1 year. And then I started teaching Bhagavatam and VIH. So those things influenced my life about Sri Prabhupada. I think, I told a bunch of stories about being Pujari before and about going to Malta and typing for Prabhupada. Oh, there was another one. I was typing in Calcutta, and it was prayers of Lakshmi to Pradumna. And so there was one prayer where she said the same, oh, Krishna is everything. He's the source of senses. He is the source of happiness, source of food. Like it was a whole huge verse like this. And then in the Prabhupada said, this is a mantra, and we should learn these mantras if we want to progress. So then, I was on the dictaphone listening. I said, okay, I played it 5 times. I played that whole verse mantras. 5:18:18, actually. Prayer of Lakshmi to Pradumna. And I said, okay, I'm going to learn that mantra. So that was one thing that happened here. Other thing, Okay, any other questions? Yes.
It's a wonderful lecture. But one thing which was slightly scary was that why
Scary.
people leave.
Why do people leave?
Yeah, in that you mentioned that sometimes we are proud of others, but the worst is that we offend others.
Yeah, that's the worst, really. If you offend others, then in order to counteract it, you have to go to that person and ask for forgiveness. You can counteract it that way. But that's scary. It can stop your spiritual life. What happens is the first thing that happens when you make offense is you start thinking about enjoying in the material world. That's what happens. That the material desires come to you. They come in spiritual desires. So yes, we should try to avoid that. And there's offenses to the holy name. There's a list of them. Don't blaspheme the Guru. Don't disobey his orders. And there's so many there. Don't think the demigods are equal to Krishna. They are servants. They are Vaishnavas like we are. So we can respect the demigods. But we know that they're also servants of Krishna. And they're parts of his body, of the universal form, of Virat Rupa. Yeah. Okay, yes?
I hope I don't offend anybody.
Okay. Good, you said that before?
But I want to continue that the reasons why people leave.
Reasons why people leave.
Yes. So I have problems with my body.
You have problems with your body.
It's getting very stiff.
Uh-huh.
There, all my last karma, I understand very well. But then there is little hint of scary that if I come to temple and I sing very loudly.
And you sing loudly. If you come to temple, you're afraid that.
I'm afraid if somebody else will get this ugly, hurtful body, I don't want to share this one.
If somebody will get sick from your singing?
Yes, because I'm very sick, and I'm singing very loud.
But as long as you sing Hare Krishna, it purifies.
Yes,
So purifies you, purifies everyone.
but they will get,
No, they won't.
okay.
It's got nothing to do with your singing. No.
I have to trust you.
Yeah. No, you can sing in the temple, unless somebody complains. But, I don't think, so far, nobody has complained.
Nobody has.
Oh, that's good. No problem then. You will not make people sick by your singing, but if like I'm a musician, so if your voice isn't good, I might not be happy in the kirtan. But it's not a good way to think also, because I know it's good for me, and in one sense, if I hear a beautiful kirtan, I'm naturally attracted. I want to go there. And if I hear a kirtan that's really out of tune or something, then I think, oh, no, I wish they would turn off the microphone. But I did that in Vrindavan. I was walking by the kirtan. I was thinking, oh, this is such, oh my God. And I tripped and fell. After I thought, oh, okay, I better not think like that. And it's not good. Yeah, I'm sure they're doing their best. Yeah. No, don't worry about that. You're not influencing others. We think that, we are influencing others. People are thinking of us. But actually, one thing I learned is that nobody's thinking of you, really. It's really, and the Buddhists are so funny. And I saw a Buddhist birthday card and it said, I'm not thinking of you. So, anyway, that's, yeah, don't worry. Anybody else? Yeah, you have a question.
Yeah, I might forget, but try to ask you to kindly forgive me if I have done any offenses.
I don't think so. I don't see anything.
Okay.
No, don't worry, don't worry. There's no offenses here. I haven't seen any offenses. It's really good. I feel very happy here. Feel very at home, and like I belong here. It's one of my homes in the world. I have many. Okay, did somebody else have a question? Did you have a question?
It seems like this social media and all these things are full of this kind of.
That's true. Yeah, social media not only offenses, but very negative energy. If you read the news especially. Oh my God. Oh,
What do you think
So-
Prabhupada would say to this?
well, I know what Prabhupada would say. Exactly. Well, I'll tell you what His Holiness Sachinandan Swami says. He says, he carries the cell phone and says, this is a weapon of distraction. Now we have weapons of destruction, like the bombs, and the media is weapons of distraction. It takes you away from the truth and from, there's so much fake news, actually, you don't even know what's real. You don't know what's the real news, because now we have AI, and they can make a video of you saying anything, and people will believe it. And they'll say, oh, just see, that person said. AI can mimic your voice, can get it, make your body move and whatever they want to do. You gotta be very careful. Of social media. Yeah, some people tell me they can't finish their rounds in the day. I said, okay, every time before you touch your phone, you chant 4 rounds. Every time, or at least 1 before you touch your phone. But don't do it to get free from the reactions of going to sun. That's also an offense too. And you say, okay, I'm gonna chant and then I'm gonna go to social media. So the reaction will go away. But no, that's an offense to chanting. That's an offense to chanting Hare Krishna. Okay, any other questions?
I have comment.
Comment?
There is a Dandavat pages in devotees.
There are what?
Dandavat.
Dandavat. Yes, you can go to Dandavat.
There was a picture that there was many leaders, world leaders. They have a dhoti and kurta. They have
The many leaders,
like Trump, Putin,
those leaders, not our leaders on Dandavat, that was very different.
and then
There's outside leaders.
and
We won't mention any names of mine.
they have a dhoti and kurta, and there was in Harinam.
Pardon me?
There was in Harinam.
now.
Harinam?
Yes.
How they put all those leaders in Harinam and AI?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Yeah, oh, that would be very interesting. Yeah, I was giving a talk in Mayapur to some Russians, and yeah, I think mostly Russian, from Russia. I also read maybe Russian speaking also. And the question was asked, what about the war between Ukraine and Russia? And I said, yes, it can be stopped by Harinam. That's the only thing that can stop it, is Harinam. Because that would change the heart. And now that's the problem, that the hearts are not together. And even devotees, I hear there's problems between devotees from different countries there, even in Vrindavan. So you can't see the body, can't see it. You can't identify with your designation. I'm Russian, I'm American, I'm this. You can't identify. We're devotees. That's very interesting. Huh? All of those leaders on Harinam together. Good idea. Okay, should we stop now? Is it time?
Yeah.
Okay. Glories to Prabhupada, Hare Krishna.
HG Narayani Mataji ki jai. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mataji, for the whole visit in Finland. It's been wonderful. There was